Alright, welcome back, guys. I guess you can kind of tell by what's behind me and the thumbnail and probably the title of the video. Today we're going to be working on our project Z50 Cafe Racer moped. Alright, so I've been hustling to try to get the garage straight. You probably can't tell by the background, but I have been trying to get it situated so we can get the work in here. I have not got it straight enough or got a tool shed to put the golf cart and the lawn tractor and stuff in, so I don't have the room to bring the motorcycle lift and the Vulcan and a couple of the other bikes in yet. Unfortunately, I really want to jump on the Vulcan and get that done, but we just don't have the space. But we do have the space for this, and all the parts have been moved into this garage now. So we're gonna get back on this. I am dying to get on two wheels and ride around. Yeah, it's got to happen. And I'm also making some other moves to acquire some new equipment for the garage. So funds are going to be a little tight for a little bit, but there'll be more on that later when that does show up. Anyway, moving on. I try to be 100% transparent with you guys, and if I screw something up or things don't work out the way I intend, I like to let you know. This is one of those cases. So when I got this, I originally just got the frame and the front end, not including the wheel and handlebars and all that. And I'll insert a card to where we started the build, and you can see kind of where it's been and how much we've gotten done. Well, the goal is to title and register and insure this as a moped. We're kind of bending the rules a little bit, but we're not going to get into that. Anyway, in order to do that, you have to have a serial number or a VIN. And this aftermarket frame, which I've figured out now, is a SkyTeam monkey frame. No serial number, no VIN. I have removed the powder coating, which was a pain in the butt. Regular paint stripper just doesn't cut it. And I've looked. I found SkyTeam, the logo stamped into the back of the frame, but no numbers, no serial numbers, no VINs, nothing anywhere on this frame. So that kind of throws a wrench into our plans. So what to do? Well, you've probably seen this in the background, hanging on the ceiling or maybe in the other garage or something. But inside this green cellophane is a legitimate Honda Z50 frame with a VIN, and I've looked the VIN up before I purchased it, and it is clean, and it is a 50cc model. It's a 1992 model year Z50R frame, from what I understand. So this we can title, register, and insure and ride. That one we cannot. So what we need to do is move everything over, and the stuff that I've done to this frame to facilitate the rear frame hoop, the cafe style frame hoop, and a few other little mods I'm going to have to do to this frame, and transfer everything over to this and get back to where we left off here and get going forward so that we can actually have something to ride. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, well, what are you going to do with the SkyTeam frame? I got something for that. Since we won't be able to register the SkyTeam frame because there's no serial number or VIN, I want to make something cool with it that we can ride around, maybe inside the neighborhood, or maybe a campground or an event or something like that. Not on the road, but just something cool. So what I've done is gone ahead and ordered a whole front end, disc brake front end for the Z50. So that'll get us our front end. I haven't decided what front wheel we're going to run. I may go with just a fancy Z50 style two-piece rim for the front. And in a box on that shelf back there is a 125cc 3-speed with reverse that we're going to put on this frame. And we'll run probably an original style Z50 seat. And for the rear end, what we'll do is I'll do a go-kart live axle. So we may extend the swing arm. Not sure what we're going to do there yet, but it'll be a trike. I've got the new frame, or new to us anyway, frame unwrapped, and I'm going to start moving parts over to it. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Once I get it done, I'll bring you back and we'll get rolling on it. So, all right, let's do it. Now there is one slight issue. We have to make another modification to the swing arm. If you remember, we stretched it 4 inches, and that did make up for the majority of the size difference with the wheel and tire. One thing that we do need to address is there's a bar that ties both sides of the swing arm together, and it's actually hitting the frame, as you can see there. So that's limiting the downward travel of the swing arm. So what we need to do is cut this out and put in a new bar a little further back so it doesn't make contact as soon with the frame. Things that the bike was never meant to do or designed to do, you can run into some issues, especially when you're ordering parts online and the descriptions aren't 100% maybe honest, or they're a little inaccurate. If you notice, the front tire on our Z50 project is different. That's because this is a different wheel. Yeah. The tire that's on it is a knobby tire, and no, we will not be keeping the knobby tire. Now that I know that this wheel fits, I have a street style tire that's coming. Problem was, and I'll insert some pictures to show you a little bit better, the wheel was too wide for the forks. These forks, I don't believe were ever meant to go on this bike. I think they're meant for a CRF 50 or like a Pitster pit bike or something along those lines, not a Z50. They fit, yes. Do they fit 100% like factory stuff? No. But they will work. But the big fat wheel and tire that we had up front was online. It said it would fit based on some of the descriptions, but in reality, no. It'll fit in there, but you can't rotate the wheel and tire. So, yeah, I purchased a wheel that is probably about half the width, and more importantly, the hub is thinner. That's where the real issue was. Now, the fat wheel and tire combo that we had front and rear on this bike, I'm going to save that for another project. I already have something in mind for it, and I'm going to measure and get a comparable wheel and tire like we have up front to go in the back. So it'll be a little bit thinner. We won't have that big fatty look, but it'll get us on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and continue cleaning the frame up. I still have some of that to do, but this was just bothering me, so I went ahead and took care of that. So continuing on with cleaning the frame up and getting it back together so it looks more like a bike, and then we can actually start moving forward. Our new rear wheel and tire setup has shown up, and I've got it in place. Another miscalculation on my part. While this wheel and tire combo fits better than the previous one that we had, still running into some clearance issues, which I was afraid would happen. So I think you can tell the sprocket actually gets really close to rubbing on the swing arm, and if I tighten the nut and bolt that is the rear axle, it does seize up, and as you can tell, spacer here, that's not right, and on this side it's very close, and when I tighten it down it touches too. So while the wheel fits better, and of course this knobby tire is going to go in favor of a street style tire, when I stretched the rear swing arm in the previous video, or previously, you could tell where I added the stretch. I don't think I stretched it quite far enough. It's pretty close, but I don't know. I'm going to make sure that when I set the seat up there, that it actually falls at the axle line like it should on a cafe racer. There's certain proportions that you want to keep, so I need to check that. But I think we might be okay on the stretch. Maybe add another inch or two, but we're not wide enough in the hub area on the wheel. So how do we fix that? Well, you start off with another swing arm. Because I slugged that one and everything, it would be a huge pain in the butt to take apart. So I have this other one that was original to that frame. So I will jig that up. I will cut it. I'll stretch it, and I'll measure the width that I actually need at the hub area, and I'll widen the swing arm as well. So hopefully that'll do it. But I need to order more tubing, and there's a few other parts on order for this bike. So I think right now we just need to cut this one off for this episode. So in the next episode we'll pick up with the swing arm adjusted, and the tank mounts will be done. I've already cut it off and clean the frame up. I just need to trim it and weld it in its final place. Once we get all that done, then we'll be where we were before the move on this bike. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Until next time, get up, get out there, and do it.